Final approach to Malopa in 30 minutes. All team leads, please confirm readiness status.
Security team prepped and standing by. Weapons checked and distributed to authorized personnel only.
Cultural documentation equipment calibrated and ready. I've preloaded comparative indigenous contact protocols from South Pacific and Amazonian first contacts.
Geological sampling kits secured on landing vessels and ready to go.
Corporate is demanding hourly updates once we make landfall. Reynolds won't stop texting me about resource assessment priorities.
Remind Director Reynolds that scientific assessment comes before resource evaluation. We're making history here. This is an undiscovered continent, not a mining opportunity.
Trust me, I've tried to make that clear. He's assured himself that Global Exploration Ventures expects return on their generous funding.
Hey guys, just want to let you know something. For when we all land at our separate points along the shore, communication team reports our regular comms will be compromised once we're within 1 kilometer of shore. These sat phones are our only reliable contact method.
Everyone double check your battery packs, and remember that message range can only reach so far.
We should discuss the landing party assignments again. I still think we should consolidate into fewer but overall larger groups.
Disagreed. Multiple landing points give us better initial survey data. And if there are hostile elements, we're not putting all our eggs in one basket.
Marcus is right. We stick with the 5 planned landing zones. Alpha team is with me at the northern bay. Beta with Raphael at the eastern peninsula. Gamma with Sanjay at the southern river delta. Delta with Olivia at the western highlands. Echo with Marcus at the central plateau.
Meteorological readings show clear weather for the next 48 hours. Perfect landing conditions.
Has anyone seen the documentary team? Jamie was supposed to join my cultural assessment group.
Last I saw, they were checking their camera equipment, very focused on getting the perfect arrival shot.
All vessels report ready for deployment.
Copy that. Everyone switch to landing party channels. And good luck. Today we make history. Alpha team ships to disembark in 5 minutes. Final equipment check, please. I'll be joining you in the back once my ship is prepped, by the way.
Comms equipment secure, but I'm still getting those weird frequency disruptions. These sat phones should hold, though.
Specimen containers and preservation solutions loaded. But something feels so peaceful about this place. It's so calm, so untouched.
Stay focused, hippie. We follow protocol and establish the base camp first. Then we can worry about the peculiarities.
Visual contact with shore. No signs of movement. Looks clear for landing, ma'am. Wait, I see something on the tree line.
I see it too from my ship.
What is it?
Movement. Oh crap! Incoming!
Everyone down. Are those spears?
They're attacking the boat.
We need to abort. They're all over the shore.
The boat's taking damage. We have to make shore and disperse. Grab what you can and be ready to return fire. I'm still in the back line, so I'll order an artillery strike. Emergency alert. Alpha team under attack by indigenous forces. All landing parties land and seek cover.
Echo team also under fire. We're outnumbered and retreating inland.
Gamma team boat has been overturned. We've scattered along the southern delta, lost most of our equipment.
Beta team barely made shore. We're heading for higher ground. At least 20 hostiles in pursuit.
Delta team diverted. We've secured the corporate data drives and essential samples, making for the highlands as planned.
All teams switch to emergency protocol. Establish safe positions before nightfall. We'll attempt to coordinate regrouping once immediate danger has passed.
Understood. Echo team will establish defensive position and report back.
Copy that. Gamma team members check in when possible.
Will comply. Beta team heading northeast.
Delta team acknowledges. Stay safe, everyone.
Jamie, headquarters is demanding updates. Are you getting the arrival footage?
Under attack. Not sure what's happening. Indigenous people ambushed all landing parties.
What? Are you serious? Is your camera running?
Yes, but I'm running for my life. Spears, arrows, some kind of projectile weapons. Expedition has been scattered. I've lost contact with my assigned group.
Stay low and keep filming if possible. This could be the documentary of the century.
Are you kidding me right now? I could die here.
Sorry, that was insensitive. Priority is your safety. But if you can safely document, it would be wonderful.
I'm hiding in a ravine. Too narrow for them to follow. Still filming when I can. This place is unbelievable. The trees are massive, and there's something ethereal about the light here.
What do you mean?
It's like there's a constant shimmer in the air, and my compass is going crazy. All my regular communications equipment is dead. Only the sat phone is working.
Can you reconnect with any of the expedition members?
Trying now. We'll message when I'm in a safer position.
Got it. I'll alert the emergency response team.
Marcus, are you there? This is Jamie Winters from the documentary crew.
Jamie, where are you, bro?
In some kind of ravine, about 2 miles inland from where we were attacked.
Are you injured?
Cuts and bruises. Nothing serious. What even happened back there?
Ambush. Well coordinated. These aren't simple tribals. They knew exactly when and where to hit us.
How is that possible? No one even knew this continent existed until 3 months ago.
That's the question, isn't it? Stay where you are if it's safe. I've got 4 team members with me. We're establishing a defensive position in the highlands.
Have you heard from the others?
Scattered. Elijah Liza is trying to coordinate, but we're spread across miles of hostile territory.
I got some footage of the attack, and I'm still recording.
Good. Might be the only record of what happened here if we don't make it.
Don't say that.
Just being realistic. We'll check in again at 1800 hours. Stay alive.
You too.
Status check. All team leads report positions and personnel.
Echo position secured in Highland Forest. 4 team members with me. 2 injured but stable. Limited supplies.
Beta team found shelter in rock formation. 3 members present. Still have most geological equipment. No serious injuries.
Gamma team fragmented. I have 2 members with me. Location is approximately 4 miles south of landing point. Lost contact with other 3 members.
Delta team intact. All 5 members present at Western Highlands. Corporate data secure. Some supplies salvaged.
Alpha team down to 3 members, including myself. We've moved inland about 5 miles. No sign of pursuit currently. I've been in contact with Jamie from the documentary crew. Also safe but separated.
I've been running diagnostics on our communication situation. The sat phones are our only working technology. Range is limited to about 50 miles, and battery life is concerning. We have approximately 10 days at current usage rates. After that, we're completely cut off.
Understood. We need to establish a game plan then. Our primary extraction point was the northern bay, but that's clearly compromised.
The emergency extraction point is the eastern peninsula, but that's at least 30 miles from my current position, and likely guarded as well.
I've attempted to contact headquarters. Response has been delayed due to unforeseen circumstances, but at least they're aware of our situation. However, that means that rescue operations will take time to organize.
So we're on our own for now. I suggest we establish defensible positions for the night and attempt to consolidate our groups tomorrow.
My team spotted what appears to be a settlement about 2 miles south of our position. Primitive structures, but definitely human-made.
No approach. Observation only. We need more information before risking another encounter.
I'm getting very messy geological readings, and there appear to be structures beneath the surface, possibly artificial.
Document it, but prioritize safety. We'll establish a rendezvous point tomorrow, once we've all had a chance to assess our surroundings.
One more thing everyone should know. Our weapons have limited ammunition, and we're not equipped for extended conflict. Avoid engagement if at all possible.
Agreed. All teams establish watch rotations and report any contact immediately. Stay alive. We'll reconnect at first light. Dawn status check. All teams report in.
Beta team all accounted for, but we're picking up something on the ground sensing equipment. Regular subsurface vibrations approximately 800 feet below us. Irregular patterns suggest non-seismic activity.
We're detecting similar anomalies here, almost like subterranean movement, but nothing in our geological survey indicated cave systems this extensive.
Gamma team reporting. Still missing 2 members. We've established observation of the settlement I mentioned yesterday. No hostile activity observed yet, but our engineers managed to set up some automatic defenses during the night. If those bastards come back, they'll be dealt with accordingly.
Echo team secure, but we found something disturbing near our camp. These were deliberately placed in a clearing about half a mile from our position.
That's troubling. Sanjay, any cultural context for this?
Based on placement and preparation, those appear to be warning markers. Not threats per se, more like boundary indicators. Do not proceed past this point, for example.
Delta team all present. We've collected some fascinating soil samples. Initial tests show huge mineral concentrations.
Can we focus on the fact that we're in hostile territory with limited resources? Alpha team's radar is picking up movement to our north. Could be more indigenous groups coming to attack again.
Stay vigilant, everyone. I'm coordinating with Captain Rodriguez about extraction possibilities, but it's complicated by our scattered positions and the ongoing hostility, of course.
These vibrations are increasing in intensity, whatever's causing them. It's not small. And the pattern is too regular for natural phenomena.
Keep recording, but maintain defensive postures. No unnecessary explorations until we understand the situation better. We also need confirmation from HQ on where to go from here, so keep your eyes open and your guns up. It's gonna be a long week.
Hello? Jamie? We've been trying to coordinate with the military about extraction.
Here, sorry. Got caught up with exploring. I just found something incredible, Sophia. There's a network of caves about a mile from my ravine.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Please do not die at the hands of a couple rocks. The expedition team is reporting dangerous conditions too.
Sorry, but I have to document this. Besides, these caves might be safer than being in the open. You wouldn't believe what I'm seeing. They're pulsing, Sophia. All of them, in perfect sync. Like they're communicating.
That's incredible footage, but please don't go too deep without backup. We're still working on extraction plans.
Hold on, there's something else in here. These look ancient, but if this continent was just discovered, I mean, there are indigenous people here, but this suggests something that came even before them.
Interesting. Can you get closer images of those markings?
Going deeper into the cave system, the carvings continue. Sophia, I think these are depicting something living under Malopa. Something massive and perhaps crustacean.
This is extraordinary. The network will go crazy for this footage. Can you translate any of it?
I'm not a linguist, Sophia, but these don't look like a language. More like warnings. The same image repeats. Something beneath. Something massive. I'm going to explore further. This may be the second biggest discovery of the century. I have to document it.
Olivia, headquarters is getting impatient. Where's that full resource assessment?
Director Reynolds, I've been slightly preoccupied trying not to die.
Dramatic as always. I understand there were some complications with the landing, but GEV has invested trillions in this expedition. We need results, girl.
Here's your results. Lithium, cobalt, neodymium, and something our equipment can't even identify. All metals that fill the earth of Malopa.
This is exactly what we hoped for. We need to accelerate the extraction planning.
In case you missed it, we were attacked by an indigenous population. Our teams are scattered. We have minimal equipment, and extraction is uncertain.
All just minor setbacks in the long run. I'm dispatching additional security teams, and I want you to begin marking extraction points. We'll handle the indigenous problem.
These aren't just random tribals. They're organized, well-armed, and they knew exactly when and where to hit us.
All the more reason to establish a proper security perimeter. Coordinate with Marcus to identify strategic positions. Phase 2 must proceed as scheduled.
What exactly is Phase 2? That wasn't in my briefing.
Need to know basis. For now, focus on collecting more comprehensive mineral data and preliminary extraction site planning. Corporate interests must be protected.
Even at the cost of human lives?
Don't be melodramatic. Just do your job and remember where your loyalty lies.
Understood, sir. I'll send more detailed analysis tonight.
Good. And Olivia, this conversation stays between us.
Of course.
Raphael, are you still monitoring those subsurface vibrations?
Continuously. They're getting stronger, and they seem to be moving.
Moving? In what pattern?
That's the strange part. They appear to be circling our positions, all of our positions, as if whatever's causing them knows exactly where we are.
That makes literally no sense, though. These devices only detect, they don't broadcast.
I know, but the data is unmistakable. There's something else too. The indigenous settlement that Sanjay is observing, it's completely absent from my readings, as if whatever is down there is avoiding it and only targeting us.
Keep monitoring then, but don't share this with the others yet. I don't want to cause panic.
Understood. But Eliza, if these readings are accurate, we're dealing with a possible new megafauna.
One impossible thing at a time, Raphael. First, we focus on survival. Then we can tackle the scientific impossibilities.
Emergency alert. All perimeter sensors just triggered simultaneously. Something's out there. Whatever did this, it's huge, and it's heading straight for us.
All teams implement emergency protocol Zeta. Lights off, minimal movement, complete silence.
Is that a Malopa local wildlife species? Nothing in our preliminary surveys indicated any megafauna of that size.
The subsurface vibrations just stopped, completely. Whatever was down there, it might be hiding from whatever is up here.
Delta team implementing protocol, but we need extraction, now.
Stay calm. Whatever this is, it doesn't match any known predator profile. Marcus, any visual on its current position?
Negative. It disappeared into the tree line, but the sensors are still detecting movement. It's circling our positions.
Can you estimate size?
Based on the trees it knocked down, at least 100 feet tall, possibly larger.
All teams maintain radio silence until further notice. Minimal light, no sudden movements. It might be hunting by movement or sound.
Jamie, please respond. We lost connection after your last cave images. Our systems show your signal getting weaker. Jamie, if you can read this, head back to the cave entrance immediately. We're detecting an unidentified movement signature near your position. Jamie? Signal's too weak. Damn it.
Sophia, I received your message and the image files. These cave paintings are extraordinary.
Professor Iris, thank you for responding so quickly. Can you make any sense of them? Jamie described them as warnings.
Your documentary person has good instincts. These are definitely warning symbols, very similar to patterns we've documented in isolated Pacific Island cultures.
The similarities are absolutely stunning. How is that possible? Malopa was just discovered.
That's the fascinating question. These symbols appear across cultures that never had contact. Easter Island, remote Japanese islands, certain Micronesian atolls, all depicting the same basic form, what we called the Devourer in academic circles.
The Devourer?
A mythological entity, always described as living beneath the earth or sea, consuming everything if released. All these cultures described a guardian or protector that keeps it contained.
And you think that's what these paintings show?
The imagery is consistent, something below and something above containing it. A warning to leave them both undisturbed.
So these indigenous people, they're not just defending territory.
They may be protecting something much more important. Has my daughter seen these images?
I don't think so. Jamie sent them directly to me. Communications with the expedition have been spotty.
Send them to Eliza immediately. And Sophia, don't share this with GEV corporate channels. They wouldn't understand the implications.
Understood. I'll try to reach Jamie first, then forward everything to Dr. Iris.
Captain Rodriguez, status report.
Coastal teams are assembled and ready, Commander.
Very good. Can you establish secure landing zones with those?
Negative, unfortunately. Indigenous hostiles control all previously designated extraction points. We'll need to clear them by force. Request permission to engage.
Permission granted. Priority is extracting our people. Minimum force necessary, but do what you must.
Understood. We'll begin clearing operations at 0600 hours once it's light again. We'll maintain sat phone contact throughout.
Be advised, corporate is pushing back against our intervention. Reynolds has been lobbying the Joint Chiefs directly.
On what grounds?
He's claiming this is a corporate security matter, not a military emergency. He wants his own people to handle it.
That's ridiculous. We have over 50 American citizens under attack.
I know, which is why we're proceeding regardless. But be prepared for corporate interference.
Copy that. What about media coverage?
We're suppressing all reports for now. Official statement is equipment malfunction caused exploration delay. No mention of indigenous population or attacks.
Roger that. Captain Rodriguez out.
Sir, I've arrived at the mainland staging area. Security teams are assembled and equipment is ready.
Excellent. Is everything in place for Protocol Obsidian?
Yes, sir. The research equipment has been loaded onto 3 transport vessels, all modified as specified.
And the personnel?
Hand-picked. All former special operations. Loyalty guaranteed.
The board is getting nervous, Ben. Hayes and his military boys are moving too quickly. We need to secure those mineral deposits before they claim the continent under national security.
Understood. When do we deploy?
Tomorrow evening. Weather systems will provide cover. Your primary objective is securing Site Alpha. The preliminary scans show it has the highest concentration of the unidentified metal.
And the expedition teams?
Extract our assets, particularly Olivia Kendrick. She has critical survey data. As for the others, they're expendable if necessary.
What about the indigenous population?
They're obstacles to progress. Handle them accordingly.
And Hayes' military extraction?
Delay them however possible. Mechanical failures. Communication issues. Be creative. Just make sure we get there first.
It will be done.
One more thing. There are reports of something large moving on the continent. Probably just local wildlife. But document any encounters anyway, just to be safe. It might have commercial applications.
Understood. Protocol Obsidian commencing.
Dr. Iris, this is Dr. Isla Reyes. I need to speak with you urgently.
Dr. Reyes, how did you get access to my private channel?
I have contacts in the Satellite Communications Division. That's not important now. What's important is what I've discovered.
I'm a bit busy trying to keep my team alive, so this better be good.
It's about the movement patterns under Malopa. I've been analyzing satellite imaging.
How did you get this?
As I said, I have contacts. Now look at the pattern. This matches my theoretical models for megafauna territorial behavior.
You're the one who published that controversial paper on evolutionary convergence?
Yes, and now I have proof. Something colossal is moving beneath Malopa. Something never seen before on any other continent.
We've detected subsurface vibrations, but nothing on this scale.
Because your equipment is calibrated for geological events, not biological ones. This creature appears to be circling your positions. Classic territorial behavior. It's treating you as a threat.
What do you suggest we do?
Stop all invasive scanning, minimize vibrations, and most importantly, do not engage with the entity in the forest.
Entity in the forest?
The thermal imaging shows 2 distinct signatures, one below ground and one above. They appear to be opposing forces.
This is hard to believe.
I understand your skepticism, but your team is caught between 2 apex predators, both of unprecedented size.
If this is true, what are they fighting over?
Territory, resources, or perhaps one is containing the other.
Thank you for this information. I'll factor it into our plans.
Be careful, Dr. Iris, and watch for the signs, because if my theory is correct, then these entities have been here far longer than humans.
Status updates, all teams, now.
Echo team holding position. No further visual contact with the entity, but perimeter sensors are still detecting massive movement. We've established laser turrets at 50-yard intervals. Minimal power usage. Motion activated only.
Gamma team has taken defensive positions. The indigenous settlement is showing increasing activity. Large gatherings. Ritual fires. They seem afraid.
Beta team secure. Subsurface vibrations have resumed, but pattern has changed. More erratic now, almost like it's resumed searching.
Delta team has implemented defensive measures. Corporate has assured additional support is en route.
Listen carefully, everyone. I've received some concerning information. The disturbances we're experiencing may be related to local megafauna, potentially 2 distinct entities, one below ground and one in the forest.
Are you sure? Nothing that large could exist without prior detection.
On a continent that remained hidden until 3 months ago? I'm keeping an open mind, Kira, and I suggest you all do the same.
If there are 2 of these things, and they're territorial, we could be caught in the crossfire.
Exactly, which is why we need to minimize our presence, reduce all lights, limit movement, and maintain defensive positions until extraction.
Speaking of extraction, any updates?
Captain Rodriguez is preparing coastal operations, but indigenous resistance is heavy. We'll need to hold out at least another 24 hours.
There's something else you should know. Corporate is implementing Protocol Obsidian. They wouldn't give me details, but it sounds like a resource-securing operation.
Our priority is survival, not corporate interests.
One more thing. I've been monitoring all signals. Jamie Winters is in danger. Their sat phone signal shows them deep in a cave system, and there's movement heading their way.
Can we warn them?
I've tried. Signal is too weak. And getting weaker.
Keep trying. We all just need to survive one more night. Extraction priority is Alpha Sector at 0800 hours. Be ready to move quickly.
Understood. Echo team standing by.
Gamma team acknowledged.
Beta team complying.
Delta team ready.
Everyone's still alive? No attacks on our position overnight.
Echo team all accounted for. No further contact with the indigenous people or the entity.
Delta team secure, but we're pretty shaken. Something was uprooting trees all around us last night.
Alpha team is intact. Hafael, status update from Beta team? Hafael?
His signal is active, but no response.
I don't like this. Should we send someone to check his team's location?
Negative. Too risky right now. Kira, keep trying to reach him. Everyone else, report findings from overnight.
I've made a significant discovery, Eliza. A cave system about 2 miles from my position. Had a drone go out and take a look, and it looks promising.
Be careful with caves, Sanjay. Remember, Jamie went missing in one.
I understand the risks, but what I've found using the drone is too important not to document. The cave contains extensive paintings, more detailed than anything Jamie reported.
What am I looking at?
They call it the Abomination, at least according to the repeating hieroglyphs. It appears that this might be the guardian entity we spoke about last night, but I don't think it is purely a benevolent one. Something more like a necessary evil.
Necessary to guard against what? That other entity?
That's where it gets interesting. Look at this sequence. Something under the ground, something bigger and more terrible, and the Abomination keeps it contained.
The entity Marcus saw in the forest. You think this could be the Abomination?
The size matches, and it would explain why it's circling our positions. It's not hunting us, it's protecting Malopa.
From us?
No, from what we might accidentally release. Wait. I just received a message from one of my dead soldiers. Oh my goodness. Those bastards? One of the indigenous must have taken her phone. I think they want to communicate.
Be extremely cautious, but this could be our chance to understand what's happening.
I'll keep the channel open. One person approaching. Female. Young. She wants to talk.
You must leave this place.
Who are you? How did you get this device?
I am Amara, took Talking Stone from Dead Soldier many seasons ago. Learned your words from him before the Abomination took him.
You know about the Abomination?
All my people know. It protects. It guards. It contains the Sleeping Hunger.
The Sleeping Hunger? Is that what's beneath the ground?
Yes. Ancient enemy. Devourer of worlds. It sleeps now, but you try to wake it.
How are we waking it?
Your machines. You're digging. The vibrations travel deep. Disturb its slumber. We attack to protect you. To protect all.
You attacked us to save us?
To save everyone. If Sleeping Hunger wakes, all lands die, all oceans empty, nothing remains.
Why didn't you just try to communicate?
Many tried before. All outsiders same. They come for treasures. They disturb sacred sites. They ignore warnings. So we fight.
These sacred sites, where are they?
The pillars. Great stones that hold Sleeping Hunger. Placed by Abomination when world was young. My people guard them. For many generations.
And the corporate teams, they're looking for minerals near these pillars?
Yes, rich earth there, but disturbing pillars wakes the Ancient One. Abomination grows angry. Soon it will destroy all outsiders.
We need to warn the others.
Too late for some. Ground already trembles. Sleeping Hunger stirs.
Will you help us? Help us understand what's happening?
I show you, but then you must leave, or all will die.
Eliza, apologies for not responding earlier, but the readings have changed. We've just detected a massive chamber approximately 20 miles below.
20 miles? That's incredibly deep.
Deeper than any known cave system, but our equipment is absolutely certain, and there's something down there.
What do you mean, something?
Movement patterns, thermal fluctuations, hollow spaces that change shape.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but there's more. I've been mapping indigenous settlement patterns. They're arranged in a very specific formation. These structures appear to be containment pylons, aligned with the movement patterns below.
So the indigenous people, they're monitoring these pylons?
Exactly. And when the entity below moves, the pylons respond. It's some kind of barrier system.
Sanjay just made contact with an indigenous translator. She mentioned pillars that contain something called the sleeping hunger.
That matches our findings. Wait.
What is it?
Major subsurface activity. The chamber is expanding. Tremors increasing in intensity below us. It's sucking us into the ground.
Raphael, report. Raphael?
Have you secured those soil samples from the containment sites?
I have indeed, and something more valuable. These structures are all over the continent, and they contain an unknown energetic material, the source of the mineral deposits.
Magnificent. Can they be extracted?
Possibly. I'm sending structural specifications now on email, but I should warn you, there's significant evidence these pillars serve some containment function.
Containment of what?
Unknown, but potentially biological. The morals of this planet are still waking up to the potentials of a continent found so late in history. I just need to make sure moral conflicts don't arise, you understand, sir?
Your concern is noted, but ultimately irrelevant. Protocol Obsidian proceeds regardless. Ben's teams are en route now. They'll secure these pillars for study.
Understood. I'll continue maintaining scientific curiosity in the group chats.
Excellent. Remember where your loyalties lie, Olivia. Your future in this company depends on it.
Crystal clear, sir.
I've been tracking indigenous movement patterns. Something interesting to report. They're not hunting us. It seems they're actually herding us away from specific territories.
What territories?
Areas with significant ground vibrations. And these large stone structures.
The containment pillars. I've made virtual contact with an indigenous translator. She calls herself Amara. These pillars are keeping something called the sleeping hunger contained.
Fascinating from an anthropological perspective. Some kind of religious belief system, perhaps?
I don't think so, Olivia. The evidence suggests something very real. The entity that's been uprooting trees, it's called the Abomination. It guards these pillars and prevents the sleeping hunger from awakening.
Raphael just reported a massive chamber 20 miles below. With something moving inside it, he said he got sucked in, and now he's not responding.
Last known coordinates?
Kira is triangulating now, but I'm deeply concerned. His final messages indicated something fatal.
I have his position. Beta team was camped near one of these pillars, approximately 7 miles southwest of Alpha position.
I can mobilize a small team. Search and rescue.
Negative. Too dangerous without knowing what happened, especially with night falling again.
Amara says it's too late. The sleeping hunger is already stirring, and the Abomination is growing angry at our presence.
This is absurd. We're scientists, not superstitious locals.
Except Raphael's team is missing, and something 100 feet tall is roaming the forest. Tremors are detecting something massive below the ground. We need to start accepting there's some truth to these superstitions.
Everyone calm down. We need a plan. Military extraction is still 18 hours away at minimum, and we've lost contact with Raphael's team.
I'm picking up movement again. Large entity, moving toward Raphael's last position.
I'm coordinating a search pattern, using remote drones. No human personnel at risk.
Approved, but be discreet. If the Abomination is real, and it is guarding against something worse, we need to tread very carefully.
And what about extraction? We can't just sit here indefinitely.
Captain Rodriguez is clearing the northern extraction point. We'll make our way there once things cool down. For now, maintain defensive positions and minimal activity.
I'll continue learning what I can from Amara.
Stay safe, everyone, and stay in frequent contact. I don't want to lose anyone else.
Search drone footage coming in. We found Raphael's camp. No sign of survivors. The entire ground is disrupted.
What do you mean disrupted?
Look at this.
Those aren't natural formations, I take it? The soil displacement pattern suggests something emerged and then returned beneath the surface.
Are those tunnel entrances?
That's what they appear to be, all approximately 20 feet in diameter. The drone's thermal imaging is detecting residual heat signatures. Something very large created these, and recently too.
Any sign of Beta Team personnel?
Negative, just abandoned equipment. And this?
Raphael's phone, so something attacked them and then pulled them underground?
The seismic sensors are showing increased activity. Whatever made those tunnels is still moving down there, and it's moving fast.
No one approaches those tunnel entrances. Marcus, recall your drones. We all need to move from our positions, immediately.
I've reviewed the tunnel imagery. I need samples, Olivia, both biological and geological.
Are you crazy? These tunnels are death traps. We've lost an entire research team already.
Your concern is noted, but this is why we sent you to Malopa. Those tunnel systems potentially contains unique biological compounds, and I need samples.
You knew about these biological anomalies before the expedition?
Of course we did. Initial satellite scans indicated unusual biological signatures. The mineral deposits were just a bonus. The real prize is pharmaceutical applications.
You purposely kept this from the science team?
Need to know basis, as per usual. Now I need those samples. Ben's team can assist once they arrive, but you need to secure preliminary specimens.
And maintain the pretense of rescue operations?
Precisely. The board is counting on you, Olivia.
I'll see what I can do, but I'll need additional protection.
Arrangements made. Specialized drones will be delivered with Ben's team. Priority is biological material from anything that made those tunnels.
And if I encounter whatever made them?
Document, sample, and retreat. In that order, if possible.
Understood.
I'm alive. Sorry for the radio silence. Had to stay hidden.
Jamie, we've been trying to reach you for days. Thank God. Where have you been?
Recording the most incredible thing I've ever seen. The Abomination is real, Sophia. And I have the footage to prove it.
Holy crap, is that real?
100% real. I've been tracking it for 2 whole days. It's absolutely enormous, but it moves with surprising grace, to be fair, following the vibrations in the ground.
Following the vibrations?
It's not hunting us directly. It's tracking something underneath us, something bigger.
Professor Iris translated some of those cave markings. They depict a guardian entity keeping something contained.
That matches what I've observed. The creature seems to be patrolling, following specific paths, always returning to areas where the ground trembles most.
Have you made contact with the expedition team?
Not yet. I've been in stealth mode, using minimal power, but I'm heading toward their signals now.
Got it. And Jamie, this footage is extraordinary, but your safety comes first.
Well, duh. But someone needs to document what's happening here. This isn't just a scientific discovery. It's something primal, something ancient, something that changes everything we thought we knew about our world.
I'm establishing Alpha Team defensive perimeter in my new location, using remaining survey equipment to create motion sensors. Marcus, how's Echo Team's defense?
Almost complete. Sentinels at 30-yard intervals. Motion sensors covering all approach vectors. Limited ammunition, but we're as secure as possible.
Everyone, I've intercepted something troubling. There are encrypted communications between someone named Ben Cole and GEV orbital satellites.
Ben Cole? I don't recognize that name.
He's corporate security, specialized division.
Well, he's communicating about weapons deployment against something they're calling the territorial entity, once they've mapped its movement patterns.
They're planning to attack the Abomination?
It appears so. Something called Protocol Obsidian, orbital strike capabilities.
That's absurd. It must be a misunderstanding.
I'm forwarding the decoded transmissions. Judge for yourself.
This is worse than I thought. They're not just here for minerals. They know about the entities.
Amara has been warning me. She says attacking the Abomination would be catastrophic. It's the only thing preventing the sleeping hunger from escaping.
Kira, what about extraction? Any word from Captain Rodriguez?
That's another problem. I just received her distress call. The coastal extraction points have been sabotaged. All landing craft destroyed. Something about EMP strikes?
EMPs? The indigenous people don't have that technology. Who the hell is helping them?
Dr. Iris, we have a serious situation.
Captain Rodriguez, what's happening at the extraction point?
Total disaster. Indigenous forces attacked in coordinated strikes, but they had help. Some kind of electromagnetic pulse weapons. All our landing craft were disabled. Communications equipment fried. We're stranded and sinking.
Were these EMPs from the indigenous people?
Negative. They came from above. Precision strikes. Military-grade technology.
Who else is operating on Malopa?
Unknown, but we intercepted communications between corporate channels. Someone's deliberately preventing extraction. They want to keep something on this continent.
Or keep something contained here.
Either way, we're not getting offshore anytime soon.
They're containing us by keeping help out, just like the Abomination is containing the sleeping hunger.
Is there a new extraction plan?
Working on it. Focus on handling the sinking first.
Jamie Winters here. I've reestablished contact.
Jamie, we thought you were dead.
Nearly was, but I've actually been tracking the Abomination, documenting it and all that good stuff. It's not hostile toward us specifically. It's focused on something else.
The sleeping hunger. That's what the indigenous people call it.
I found cave paintings. They show a conflict, ancient and ongoing, between the Guardian above and something massive below.
And now corporate teams want to attack the Guardian.
What happens if they succeed? If they kill or weaken the Abomination?
According to Amara, the sleeping hunger will awaken, and nothing will be able to stop it.
This is all speculation, based on primitive superstitions. We need scientific evidence.
Raphael's team disappeared into giant tunnels. We've all seen the entity in the forest. What more evidence do you need?
Arguing won't help. We need to establish facts. Fact 1. There is a massive entity in the forest. Fact 2. Something equally or possibly larger appears to be moving underground. Fact 3. The indigenous people have been trying to prevent outsiders from disrupting some kind of containment system. Fact 4. Corporate interests plan to deploy weapons against what may be a protective entity. And fact 5. Our extraction has been deliberately sabotaged.
So what do we do?
Amara says there's a way. The central containment pillar. It contains ancient knowledge about both entities. She can guide us there.
Where is it?
In the heart of Malopa, about 15 miles from my position, but heavily guarded by her people.
Can she ensure your safe passage?
She believes so, if I go with peaceful intentions, and if we all help prevent the corporate attack.
Tell her we all accept. We'll coordinate movements in the morning. Everyone rest now. Tomorrow we head for the central pillar.
I think this is a mistake. We should focus on extraction, not chasing myths.
Noted, Olivia, but our survival depends on that pillar, I'm afraid.
Dr. Iris, this is Dr. Victor Werner, German Expedition, Eastern Peninsula.
Dr. Werner, we thought all other expeditions were evacuated when the indigenous attacks began.
Official story only. The truth is far more complex. We've remained in observation mode, studying the phenomenon you call the Abomination.
You know about it?
We've been documenting it for weeks, long before your team arrived. The entity follows specific patterns, ritualistic behavior.
That's the one.
We've also uncovered its duties. The entity regularly reinforces the protective pillars all over the continent using a biological material that it secretes by itself. The structures appear to maintain containment of something below.
Why are you contacting me now?
Because your corporate allies are about to make a catastrophic mistake. We've intercepted their communications. Protocol Obsidian involves weapons deployment against the Guardian entity.
We've discovered the same. How do we stop it?
The central pillar, it controls all others, but attempting to reach it is extremely dangerous. The indigenous people protect it with their lives.
We've made contact with an indigenous translator. She's offering to guide us there.
Be cautious. The Abomination itself is drawn to the pillar. It's where the barrier is weakest.
Can your team provide assistance?
We're observing only. Direct intervention would compromise our research, but I can share our findings. Coordinates and data incoming. Use this knowledge wisely, Doctor. Iris, the fate of much more than just Malopa may depend on it.
Alexandra Petrov here.
Who?
Russian explorer. Been on Malopa for 3 months. Before your expedition or any others.
What? Malopa was only discovered 4 months ago.
Officially, yes. Unofficially, longer. Russian satellite detected anomalies years ago. I've been mapping the continent and documenting the dead zones.
Dead zones?
Areas where all life has been consumed by brief emergences of the hunger from below.
What caused this?
Brief breaches. When the thing below reaches the surface, it consumes everything in its path, then retreats.
How many of these zones have you documented?
17, with increasing frequency. As more humans disturb the land, coordinates attached. Stay away from these areas. The hunger remembers where it has fed before and returns when possible.
Thank you for this information, but why contact me now?
Because I've seen the corporate drones, their weapons testing. If they weaken the Abomination, nothing will contain what lies beneath.
We're trying to reach the central pillar to understand what we're facing.
Good. The indigenous people know. They've been fighting this battle for millennia. Trust them. And hurry, the hunger grows stronger each day.
Eliza, it's Dad. I've been studying those cave images, and I've made a disturbing connection.
What kind of connection?
Historical records of disappeared civilizations. When overlaid with tectonic plate movements, they all connect to Malopa.
What are you suggesting?
The Abyss entity. It may have consumed entire previous human settlements, all on land masses that later became connected to Malopa during geological shifts.
So this thing, it's ancient, predating human civilization.
And consuming it throughout history. The myths of world-devouring monsters, found in every culture. They might all reference the same entity, contained now beneath Malopa.
This is hard to accept.
I know, but the evidence is compelling. The indigenous people of Malopa. They may be descendants of survivors who learned to contain it.
With the help of the Abomination?
Perhaps. Or perhaps they created the Abomination as a guardian. Either way, you must prevent its release, at all costs.
We're trying, Dad, but corporate interests are complicating things.
Corporate interests will not matter. If the Abyss is freed, nothing will matter then.
I understand. We're heading to the central pillar tomorrow.
Good. And remember, knowledge is your best weapon now.
This is Mateo Santos, wildlife photographer with Alpha Expedition.
Mateo, we thought you were dead. Where have you been?
Separated during the initial attack. I've been hiding and observing the indigenous rituals.
You've been watching the indigenous people?
Yes, from a safe distance, of course. They're performing ceremonies at the containment structures.
They're bleeding on the pillars.
Sacrificing their own blood to strengthen the seals. They chant about the ever-hungry one and how it must never awaken.
How many of these ceremonies have you witnessed?
3 in the past week alone, all increasing in frequency. They seem desperate, as if the containment is failing.
Can you track their movements? We need to reach the central pillar.
They all move toward the center after ceremonies. I can guide you along their paths, but we must be extremely cautious. They kill outsiders on sight.
We have an indigenous contact. She may be able to ensure safe passage.
Good, because something else is coming. The Abomination. It collects their blood offerings, integrates them into the containment system. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Send me your coordinates. We'll rendezvous tomorrow.
Understood. But hurry. I don't think we have much time left.
Emergency alert. Corporate drones detected. They're mapping the Abomination's movements.
Where?
Central quadrant, near what you call the central pillar, but they're also deploying something else. Sonar equipment, directed into the subterranean chamber.
They're purposely disturbing what's below.
Precisely. Protocol Obsidian isn't just about attacking the Abomination. They're trying to wake the Abyss, to study it.
That's insane.
Agreed, but they don't understand what they're dealing with. The hunger can never be controlled, only contained.
We need to stop them. How much time do we have?
Hours at most. I'm tracking their deployment pattern, moving to intercept.
Alex, no. It's too dangerous.
Someone must stop them, and I know this terrain better than anyone. If I can disrupt their sonar arrays, at least buy some time.
Keep in contact. Report any changes.
Will do. I'm approaching their perimeter now. They have... Wait, the ground is... Movement below. It's coming up. The hunger is...
Emergency update for all teams. I've received multiple external communications. The situation is worse than we thought.
What's happening?
The corporate teams aren't just targeting the Abomination. They're actively trying to disturb what's beneath to get access to the resources, and they're close to succeeding.
Amara confirms this. Her people are in panic. The blood rituals aren't working anymore. The seals are weakening.
This is all speculation. We have no proof of any Abyss entity.
Except I've been documenting the rituals and the Abomination's response. Something is very real and very dangerous.
What's our plan now?
We move immediately. All teams converge on the central pillar. Sanjay, have Amara guide us. Kira, disable any corporate drones you can hack. Jamie, document everything.
Olivia's signal just went offline. Her tracking beacon shows movement away from our positions, toward the corporate deployment area.
She's with them. She's been with them all along.
So what now?
We proceed as planned. We may be the only ones who can prevent catastrophe.
Amara says we must hurry. The Ancient One stirs, and once it fully wakes, nothing can stop it.
Right then. It's time. We need to coordinate our approach to the central pillar.
Echo team ready to move, but our communications seem to be experiencing interference.
Gamma team is with Amara. She's leading us toward the central site.
Something's wrong with our SAT network. Messages are dropping, and I'm detecting unauthorized access.
Everyone please report hourly or otherwise until we reach our destination. And watch out for Olivia.
Your last message was corrupted. Please repeat.
I said to watch out for Olivia. She's working with corporate interests.
Message incomplete. Signal degrading.
Someone's actively jamming our communications, attempting to isolate the source.
If anyone can see this, continue toward the central pillar despite any kind of external circumstances.
I got that, Dr. Iris, but barely. I've been looking at the Abomination. It's moving toward the central pillar too. It seems agitated.
Alert. Corporate drones approaching all team positions. They're not just observing anymore. They're engaging...
Kira? Message corrupted. All teams switch to emergency protocol channels. Something is wrong with our communications.
Can only read partial messages. We'll proceed to central pillar as planned.
Roger that. I'm seeing movement on perimeter sensors, both on ground and aerial. Taking defensive positions.
Phase 1 complete. Expedition communications compromised. Message filtering engaged.
Excellent. Status of Olivia Kendrick?
Extracted as ordered. She's provided the targeting coordinates and pattern analysis of the territorial entity.
Are orbital strike systems ready?
Yes, sir. Weapons charged and locked on. Awaiting your final authorization.
What about the indigenous resistance?
Heavy but manageable. They seem to be focusing on strengthening those pillar structures, rather than engaging our teams directly.
Have you heard any more about this mythical Abyss entity they keep warning about?
Just more primitive superstitions, designed to keep us away from the mineral deposits. Nothing our sensors can detect.
Of course. They'll say anything to protect their resources. Proceed with Protocol Obsidian. Authorization code Prometheus-7-Delta. I want that abomination eliminated, and Team Echo and Alpha as well. The Prometheus are the ones who gave us fire, and now fire will serve us once more.
Authorization confirmed. Targeting entity now. Secondary teams are moving to secure the pillar structures afterward.
And Dr. Iris?
Communications isolated. Location tracked. She'll be neutralized once the entity is eliminated.
Perfect. The board will be pleased. Global Exploration Ventures will own Malopa by the end of the day.
This is Dr. Iris on emergency backup channel. If anyone can read this, our primary communications are being sabotaged. Messages are being filtered and blocked. Corporate security is implementing Protocol Obsidian fully. An orbital strike is coming against the Abomination. We must warn everyone.
Sophia, emergency transmission. Our main communications are compromised.
What's happening?
Someone named Benjamin Cole is filtering our messages. I detected it through my documentary equipment. They're preventing warnings about the abyss from reaching all parties.
I'll alert Commander Hayes immediately. Can you reach the others?
Trying, but our signals are being jammed. I'm heading to high ground to get an overview of what happens next.
What's going on there now?
Indigenous people converging on all containment structures. Massive ritual activity. The Abomination is moving faster than ever before. And something else. The ground is shaking. Not just in one place. Everywhere.
Jamie, get to safety.
Can't. This needs to be written down. The world needs to know what happened here, in case we don't survive.
Professor Iris is being alerted. Military extraction is being accelerated. Just stay alive.
I'll try. But something tells me we're already too late.
Marcus, this is Eliza on emergency channel. Can you read me?
Just about. What's happening on your end?
Benjamin Cole from corporate security has compromised our communications. They're filtering messages about the abyss, and they're preparing to strike the Abomination from orbit.
That's insane. If the indigenous warnings are true...
Exactly. We need to warn everyone and try to stop the attack.
My team is already facing ground tremors. More frequent than before, something's happening underneath us.
The containment is weakening. The Abomination is being targeted while performing its reinforcement ritual.
I'm preparing defensive positions against both corporate security and whatever might come from below.
Good. I'm trying to reach Kira. She might be able to hack their targeting systems.
One more thing you need to know. Something is happening with the indigenous people. They're abandoning their villages en masse, all moving toward the containment structures.
They're trying to reinforce the seals before it's too late.
I'll try to coordinate with them. If we all work together, maybe we can stop this.
I hope so, Marcus. Otherwise, we may be witnessing the end of everything. Kira, emergency channel. Corporate is targeting the Abomination. Can you hack their systems?
Already trying, Dr. Iris, but their security is top level. The orbital platforms are using military-grade encryption.
Keep trying. It's our only chance.
I'm into their targeting subroutine, but I can't shut it down. The best I can do is try to adjust their targeting coordinates.
Do it. Redirect away from the Abomination if possible.
Working on it. But there's another problem. The ground tremors are interfering with my equipment. Something massive is moving underground, almost like it's responding to the orbital positioning.
The abyss knows. It's preparing to emerge.
10 minutes until orbital strike. I'm doing everything I can, but I'm not sure it will be enough.
Just do your best and be ready to run. If the containment fails, nothing on the surface will be safe.
Emergency broadcast to all Malopa expedition members. This is Captain Rodriguez. We're detecting massive indigenous movements, all converging on the containment structures. Thermal imaging shows thousands of them moving in coordinated patterns.
They're trying to reinforce the seals before the orbital strike.
Orbital strike? What orbital strike?
Corporate security is targeting the Abomination with weapons from orbit. It's called Protocol Obsidian.
That's a direct violation of international law. We need to alert Commander Hayes immediately.
Communications are being filtered. Benjamin Cole is blocking our warnings.
I still have direct military channels. I'll transmit immediately. But Dr. Iris, the seismic activity is intensifying. Our remaining sensors show synchronized earthquakes beginning across Malopa.
How long until military forces arrive?
At least 3 hours. And that's assuming they can secure a landing zone.
Tell them to hurry and prepare for the worst.
They're firing. Orbital strike in progress.
All teams take cover. Repeat, take cover.
The Abomination. It's being hit. Multiple strikes.
I couldn't redirect all of them. The Guardian is taking direct hits.
Status report. Is it still intact?
Multiple impacts. The Abomination is... oh god, it's collapsing.
It's fallen across one of the ancient seals. The containment pillar. Bioluminescent fluid is spilling everywhere.
Is the seal broken?
Not yet, but it's about to be. The Abomination was in the middle of reinforcing it. Now its organic material is leaking into the soil.
Ground tremors intensifying. Massive seismic activity beneath us. The earth is splitting open.
Sinkholes forming across Malopa. Satellite imaging shows dozens of massive openings.
It's happening. The containment system is failing. The abyss is coming through.
I can see something. Moving in the ground below. Massive tentacles, reaching upward through the sinkholes.
Everyone move to high ground, away from any openings. Find the indigenous people if possible. They may know how to stop this.
Amara says there's only one way now. The central pillar. It contains the original binding ritual, but we need the abomination. And it's dying!
Is there any way to heal it?
Amara says maybe, but we need to reach them first. And the ground is breaking apart everywhere.
I can see the corporate security teams in the sky. They're still firing, still attacking the Guardian.
The orbital platforms are repositioning. Second strike imminent.
Everyone get to the central pillar. It's our only hope now. We need to stop the abyss before it fully emerges.
It's too late. Look. The abyss is awake. It's breaching everywhere, not just one location. Dozens of emergence points across Malopa.
Amara says this is a full containment breach. The worst case scenario her people have prepared for through generations.
The corporate teams are in complete disarray. They weren't expecting this. Their drones are being consumed on contact.
Satellite imagery shows rapid expansion. The entity is feeding, growing larger with everything it touches.
We need evacuation routes. Kira, can you map the emergence points?
Working on it. Initial data shows most concentrated emergence in the corporate mining zones, spreading outward in all directions, but faster toward the coast.
It's heading for the ocean. If it reaches water...
Amara says if it reaches the ocean, nothing will stop it. It will consume all life on Earth.
What about the abomination? Is it dead?
Not dead, but severely wounded. It's retreating to the northern mountains, abandoning multiple containment zones.
Everyone listen carefully. We have two immediate priorities. First, survival. Move to high ground away from emergence points. Second, containment. We need to learn how to slow this thing down. Sanjay, work with Amara on indigenous protocols. Kira, maintain mapping of the abyss's spread. Marcus, secure escape routes if possible. Jamie, get word of this out to the world.
Understood. Amara is already sharing containment protocols.
Mapping in progress, but it's moving incredibly fast, consuming approximately 1 square mile every 3 minutes.
Echo team moving to high ground, but we have indigenous defenders trapped nearby. I'm going to attempt rescue.
Don't do it if it will kill you. We can't afford to lose anyone else.
I'll keep recording, but this thing, I've never seen anything like it. It doesn't just consume, it absorbs, becomes larger and more complex with each organism it takes. It's like a living black hole.
Jamie, are you there? We're getting scattered reports. What's happening?
Catastrophic containment breach. The abyss is free, and it's consuming everything.
My God, is that real?
100% real. And if it reaches the ocean, this spreads globally.
I'm showing this to Commander Hayes. He needs to understand the threat level.
Tell him there's no time for skepticism. Corporate greed unleashed this thing. They knew it was here, they knew what it could do, and they attacked its guardian anyway.
Corporate is already trying to control the narrative, claiming it's a localized geological event. I'm uploading your footage to secure military channels.
Good. The world needs to prepare, because if we can't contain this here, there won't be a world left.
Stay alive, Jamie. Keep documenting. Your footage may be the only thing that convinces them to act.
I will, until the end.
Olivia, what's happening? Our teams are going dark all over the forest, and the sensors are showing massive anomalies.
You unleashed it. The abyss. Just like the indigenous people warned.
Control yourself, woman. This is merely an unexpected biological reaction. We'll contain it. Just make sure you extract the valuable materials.
You don't understand. There is no containing this. It devours everything, growing stronger with each bite, and it's heading for the ocean.
The orbital platforms can target it. We'll use the full arsenal.
That won't work. You tried that on the Abomination, and now look what's happened.
The board needs solutions, Olivia, not hysteria.
You knew. I found your files. Gav knew about the abyss before we ever landed. You were hoping to weaponize it.
Those files are classified. Delete them immediately.
Too late. I've sent them to everyone. The whole world will know what you've done.
You've just ended your career, and possibly your life.
If the abyss isn't stopped, no one's career will matter. Goodbye, Director Reynolds. I'm going to try to fix what you broke.
Dr. Iris, I've made contact with indigenous defenders, rescued 12 of them from an advancing tendril.
Are they willing to help us?
More than willing. They've been fighting this battle for generations, and they have critical information.
What have you learned?
The abyss has specific sensory capabilities. It detects vibrations first, then electromagnetic signals, then heat signatures. It prioritizes targets based on energy output.
So our technology is like a beacon to it.
Exactly. The indigenous people use minimal technology. That's how they've avoided detection during breaches before.
What about weapons? Anything that's effective against it?
Nothing conventional, but they say the Abomination can fight it, if it recovers enough strength.
Sanjay is working on that, with Amara.
There's something else. The defenders say the abyss becomes vulnerable when feeding. It temporarily diverts resources from its outer membrane, creating a potential weakness.
That could be useful. If we could create a large enough distraction.
My thoughts exactly, but it would need to be massive, and whoever creates the distraction
wouldn't survive.
Exactly.
Status update, everyone. Who's still online?
Still here, maintaining mapping from high ground.
Here with Amara, we've identified healing compounds for the Abomination.
Echo team partially intact, with indigenous defenders.
Still documenting from the ridgeline.
I'm here too. I've left the corporate team. They're finished anyway.
Mateo? Alex? Rafael? No response from the others. We have to assume they've been consumed.
Dr. Iris, I've identified a pattern in the Abyss's movements. It prioritizes technology, specifically electromagnetic sources, before organic material.
That matches what Marcus learned.
I can confirm. It devastated our tech-heavy corporate teams first, while indigenous groups with minimal technology survived longer.
It's consuming thousands of acres of forest, but deviating from that path when it detects technology, and it's still moving toward the ocean, faster than before.
How long until it reaches water?
At current speed, less than 2 hours.
And military intervention?
Commander Hayes has initiated worldwide emergency protocols, but meaningful response is at least 3 hours away.
Then it's up to us. I think I have a plan, but it's desperate.
We're all listening.
The Abyss is attracted to technology, and the Abomination can fight it if healed. So we use our remaining technology as bait, lure the Abyss away from the ocean, while someone delivers the healing compounds to the Abomination.
Creating a distraction large enough would require all our remaining equipment concentrated in one location.
Exactly. One massive electromagnetic lure.
That could work. But whoever delivers the compounds to the Abomination, they'd have to approach a wounded guardian entity, one that's been attacking humans on sight.
Amara says she knows the ritual words, the approach protocol, but she can't go alone. I'll go with her.
Sanjay, no.
It has to be me. I'm closest to her.
If you're doing this, I'll send a drone over to your location. The world needs to see.
Agreed. Here's how we proceed. Kira coordinates the technology lure. Marcus and his team set up the perimeter. I'll prepare the healing compounds and send them over to Sanjay via drone. Olivia helps with the distraction using corporate equipment. Jamie documents, and Sanjay approaches the Abomination with Amara.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry for my part in this. I truly didn't know what Thomas was planning.
We'll have time for apologies later, if we survive. Move out. We have less than 2 hours to save the world.
Sir, the situation has deteriorated beyond containment.
I'm well aware. The asset is loose.
This is beyond an asset, sir. The Abyss is consuming everything. Our teams are gone. The equipment is gone. It's growing exponentially.
Then we move to Contingency Plan Omega. I've already contacted the proper channels. Nuclear strike has been authorized.
Nuclear strike? Are you insane? The radiation will only accelerate its evolution. We've seen how it absorbs and adapts to energy.
Good. The faster it evolves, the better our samples will be.
Samples? You still think we can collect samples after what we've seen?
That was always the mission, Ben. Mineral extraction was the cover story. The board wants the biological material for weapons development.
So you knew? You knew what was down there all along?
Not specifically, but we knew something of immense potential existed. The rest was just finding out what form it took.
You sacrificed hundreds of people.
For scientific advancement, for corporate progress, for national security.
For profit, you mean? And now you'll nuke an entire continent to get what you want?
The strike will fragment the entity, making collection easier. Teams in radiation suits will gather what remains.
You've lost your mind. This thing can't be weaponized. It can't be controlled.
Spare me your sudden attack of conscience, Ben. You've never had one before. Strike commences in 90 minutes. Stand by for extraction coordinates.
There won't be anyone left to extract.
New information. I've intercepted military communications using the indigenous defenders' equipment.
What have you learned?
This isn't isolated to Malopa. The military has been tracking similar electromagnetic anomalies worldwide. They've detected dormant entities at several locations globally.
So Malopa isn't unique?
It's the first active site. But there are others, and they're concerned that Malopa's awakening could trigger the rest.
A synchronized global emergence. That would be the end of everything.
I've got Sanjay on visual. He's approaching the Abomination with Amara. The drone is capturing everything.
I need to warn Sanjay about the nuclear strike. Kira, can you get through to him?
Trying, but his signal is weak. The Abomination seems to disrupt communications.
What about the technology lure? Is it ready?
Almost. We've consolidated all equipment at the designated point, but we need to time it perfectly to give Sanjay enough time with the Abomination before drawing the Abyss away from the ocean.
Dr. Iris, urgent news from Sanjay.
What is it?
Amara has shared ancient knowledge about the Abyss. It cannot be destroyed, only contained.
Why not?
It exists partially outside conventional physical laws. Each apparent death merely forces temporary retreat before stronger reemergence.
So even nuclear strikes
would only disperse it, make it stronger eventually, more adaptive.
How does the Abomination contain it then?
That's the key. The Abomination and Abyss were once a single entity. Split upon arrival on Earth, the Abomination can temporarily reabsorb the Abyss, merge with with it, nullify its destructive nature.
That's how it contains it, by becoming one again temporarily.
Yes, but there's a problem. The Abomination needs a consciousness framework to maintain dominance during merging.
What does that mean?
Humans. It needs human minds, willingly sacrificed, to become part of the Abomination, to give it the mental strength to control the Abyss.
Volunteers to become part of it, forever?
Yes, that's what Sanjay is telling us. The indigenous people have done this for generations. When containment weakens, volunteers join with the Guardian.
How many?
For a breach this size, multiple. And with the Abomination weakened, more than usual.
Tell Sanjay to proceed with the healing. We'll discuss the sacrifice after.
He's almost there. I'll relay your message.
Visual on Sanjay and Amara. They've reached the Abomination.
What's happening?
Amara is chanting. Sanjay is offering the compounds. The entity is responding. It's moving toward them.
Stay calm. This is expected.
The Abomination is extending some kind of appendage toward the healing compounds. Sanjay looks terrified, but he's standing his ground.
Technology lure activated. Massive electromagnetic signal broadcasting. The Abyss is responding.
Confirmed. The Abyss is changing direction, moving away from the ocean, toward the lure.
How long will it hold?
Minutes at most. Once it consumes the equipment, the signal will die.
That might be enough. If Sanjay can heal the Abomination. Jamie, what's happening now?
The Abomination has accepted the compounds. It's absorbing them. Amara is still communicating somehow. And Sanjay is touching it.
I'm getting a transmission from him, patching it through.
Sanjay, what's happening?
The Abomination is healing. Rapidly, too. The compounds are working.
Can it stop the Abyss?
Yes, but it needs human consciousness to maintain control during reabsorption.
We know. Kira explained. How many people?
At least 5, maybe more. Amara has volunteered already.
Is there any other way?
No. The Abomination needs human minds, or the Abyss will eventually dominate when they merge, and the destruction will continue.
And those who volunteer?
Their consciousness becomes part of the Abomination, forever. But Amara says it's not death. It's transformation, becoming part of something eternal.
I understand. Tell Amara I'm coming. I volunteer.
Eliza, no. There must be another way.
There isn't. Time is running out. The lure won't hold the Abyss much longer, and we have a nuclear strike incoming.
Nuclear strike?
Thomas Reynolds, 5 minutes. Tell the Abomination we're coming, and prepare the ritual.
Understood. Hurry, Eliza. I can feel it getting stronger, but the Abyss is massive now. We need more volunteers, or this won't work.
Everyone listen carefully. The Abomination can stop the Abyss, but it needs human consciousness to maintain control. Volunteers to become part of it. Forever. I'm volunteering.
No, Dr. Iris. We need you.
This is bigger than any of us. It's the only way to stop a global catastrophe.
I'll go too. It's partly my fault this happened. Let me make amends.
The Abyss has reached the lure. It's consuming the technology. We have minutes before it turns back toward the ocean.
I have to stay and document. The world needs to know, but I support your decision.
I'll volunteer too. My defensive skills won't matter against this thing. Might as well put my consciousness to better use.
Then it's decided. Marcus, Olivia, and I will join Amara and any indigenous volunteers. Kira and Jamie will remain to document and communicate. We all head from our positions to the Abomination now. While we still have time,
I'll keep my drone on you. Your sacrifice won't be forgotten.
Good luck. I'll maintain communications as long as possible and warn of the nuclear strike.
Marcus, Olivia, meet me at the Northern Ridge. We approach the Abomination together.
Understood.
On my way.
Whatever happens next, it's been an honor.
The honor is mine. Now let's save the world. Final coordination for containment plan. Status reports from all positions.
Echo team in position at North Ridge. All remaining equipment gathered for the lure.
Corporate override protocols active. I've delayed the nuclear launch by a few minutes and exposed GEV's illegal research to international authorities.
Mapping complete. The Abyss has consumed the first technology lure, moving again toward the ocean. Estimated arrival at shoreline in just under 10 minutes.
I'm with the Abomination and Sanjay. It's partially healed, preparing for the merging ritual.
Excellent. The containment zone is established. By the way, I'm at the meeting zone.
Affirmative. The indigenous defenders have marked the ritual boundaries, all according to Amara's specifications. I'm almost there, by the way, Eliza.
Then we proceed. Kira, activate the main technological lure. Marcus, prepare the secondary attractions. We need to draw the Abyss into the containment zone. Jamie, status on the Abomination?
Growing stronger. The indigenous people are gathering. More than I expected. They're chanting. Some kind of strengthening ritual.
Marcus, Olivia, and I will be approaching your position. ETA 3 minutes. The merger must happen before the nuclear strike, and we're ready to sacrifice ourselves.
Alert. Main lore activated. The Abyss is responding, changing direction toward the containment zone.
It's working. We have one chance to get this right.
What the hell is happening? The launch has been overridden. Why is there a delay?
Hello, Thomas. Having technical difficulties?
Olivia, you did this.
And more. I've sent all your classified files to every major government. The illegal weapons research, the prior knowledge of the entities, your deliberate sabotage of the expedition.
You've destroyed everything. Years of research, trillions in development.
No, I've saved the world. From the abyss, and from people like you.
Security teams will hunt you down. You won't survive this betrayal.
I don't expect to survive anyway. I'm volunteering for the consciousness framework. I'm joining the Abomination.
You've gone insane.
No, Thomas. I've finally come to my senses. Goodbye. This will be my last transmission as Olivia Kendrick. The person you knew ends today, but something better begins.
Dr. Iris, I need to share my final discoveries before the merger.
We're almost there, Sanjay. What have you learned?
The indigenous relationship with Malopa. It's symbiotic. Their ancestors didn't just contain the abyss. They became part of the Abomination, generation after generation, volunteering their consciousness, creating a collective mind that maintained the balance.
That explains their fierce protection of the land.
Exactly. And now they're gathering, hundreds of them, all volunteering. They understand the threat better than we ever could.
So many.
I'm going to be the first non-indigenous volunteer to show our commitment to bridge our worlds.
Sanjay, wait for us. We're coming to join you.
No time. The abyss is approaching. The ritual must begin now. The Abomination needs a consciousness framework immediately to prepare for the others.
Sanjay, please.
I've lived my life studying ancient cultures. Now I'll become part of one, perhaps the most important one in Earth's history. It's fitting, don't you think?
You don't have to do this alone.
I'm not alone. Amara's here, and soon I'll be part of something much greater. Goodbye, Eliza. It has been an honor.
Sanjay. Sanjay?
Jamie, your footage is being broadcast worldwide. Every major network, every government.
Good. They need to see. What's happening here will affect the entire planet.
Global recognition of the threat is near universal. Corporate attempts to suppress the information have failed. The UN Security Council is in emergency session.
What about Malopa?
Captain Rodriguez has secured international protection. It's being designated a restricted zone under military control. No corporate access permitted.
That's something at least, if we survive this.
The footage of Sanjay, I've never seen anything like it.
When he joined with the Abomination, it was beautiful and terrifying. His body just dissolved into light, and the Abomination grew stronger.
And now hundreds more are doing the same?
Yes, it's incredible. The indigenous people are sacrificing themselves, joining the collective consciousness, strengthening the Guardian.
Keep recording. The world needs to witness this. For history, for truth.
I won't stop until the very end, whatever that may be. The indigenous ritual is reaching its climax. Hundreds have joined with the Abomination. Its strength has multiplied exponentially.
The ancient monuments are activating, all across Malopa, channeling the continent's electromagnetic energy into the Abomination.
We're almost at the ritual site. How much time before the nuclear strike?
4 minutes, but they're working to override my delays. It could be sooner.
The Abomination is moving toward the abyss. They're going to confront each other.
Everyone take cover. Energy readings are off the charts.
Nuclear launch detected. The merging must happen now.
We're too late to join the framework. Amara says the merging will be cataclysmic.
The Abomination and the abyss are touching. The energy discharge is blinding.
3 months since the Malopa event. International Containment Zone established. How are the survivors adapting?
As well as can be expected. The physical wounds heal. The psychological ones take longer.
And the entity?
Stable. The Abomination successfully merged with the abyss, containing it within its composite form. The Guardian role has resumed, but with greater strength, greater purpose.
Thanks to Sanjay and the indigenous volunteers.
Yes, their consciousnesses live on, within the merged entity.
The satellite monitoring shows unusual growth patterns. The forest is regenerating at unprecedented rates.
The balance is being restored. The continent is healing.
And global exploration ventures?
Dissolved. Their executives facing international charges. The evidence Olivia provided was damning.
Your research continues?
Under strict oversight. We're learning so much about the relationship between the indigenous people and the Guardian. Their symbiotic connection. It's revolutionizing our understanding of consciousness itself.
And the other potential sites worldwide?
Under constant monitoring. No signs of activity, but we're not taking chances. Protocols are in place.
Good. The UN Security Council meets next week to formalize the permanent protected status of Malopa. Your testimony will be crucial.
I'll be there, along with Jamie and Kira. The world needs to understand what happened and why it can never happen again.
And Marcus?
Still with the indigenous defenders, learning their ways, helping maintain the barrier between worlds. He's found a new purpose.
As have we all. See you in Geneva, Doctor. Iris.
Until then, Captain. The documentary is powerful, Jamie. You've captured the truth.
It wasn't easy. Condensing something so profound into a format people can understand.
But necessary. The world needs to know what happened, what was sacrificed.
I think about them every day. Sanjay, Olivia, all those indigenous volunteers.
They're not gone. Not really. They've become part of something eternal.
I know. I can feel it sometimes. When I'm near the boundary, a presence. Watching. Protecting.
The Abomination sends dreams. Did you know that? The indigenous people have reported shared visions, messages from their ancestors, now part of the collective consciousness.
What do they say?
That the balance must be maintained, that they're proud of their choice, that they're still with us, just in a different form.
That brings me comfort. The sequel documentary will focus on that, on what comes after sacrifice, on how life continues.
I'd like that, but first we have work to do. The monitoring stations need your footage to train new personnel.
Of course, I'll send everything over. And Eliza, do you ever regret that we didn't get the chance to join the consciousness framework?
Sometimes, but perhaps we were meant for this instead. To tell their story, to protect their legacy, to ensure nothing like this ever happens again.
I can live with that purpose. A different kind of merging, but important all the same.
Exactly. We guard the Guardians, in our own way. See you at the boundary tomorrow?
I'll be there, camera in hand, as always.